Hi, and how's it going, music producers? In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own VST plugin from scratch using Romplur. What I'm going to do for the background images, I'm going to use some images off of Google. There's tons of digital art, AI, websites, and apps that you could subscribe to create even more mind-blowing backgrounds, but for this I'm going to use Google. My search term that I put in here was space digital art, and as I scrolled down there was one that really caught my attention. Let's see, right here it was this picture of a female like astronaut, and then what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use this one. I could, that would be kind of cool, but I'm actually going to use this other one down here under related content. So what I'll do is I'll drag that to my desktop, and then now I'm ready to jump inside of Romplur. So this is what Romplur looks like. Here's the default template that's under here. You can use this if you want, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely clear it all out. So if you go up to the top where it says edit, you can clear GUI. I said okay, so now it's completely blank. We'll go to load background. And then I have that on my desktop, so I'll find that image. There it is, import it, click on, and now it's inside of Romplur. So we have our background image, first step complete. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead under here and I can, let's go ahead and add some sidebars. What we do is we have tons of assets on our UI shop on our website. So I'm gonna load in some sidebars under here. Let's go to the modern bars, and we can go under, maybe purple would be kind of cool. Under here, we'll choose the left one. And then what you could do is click on this bottom right-hand corner. You could pull it down. We'll resize just like that. So I'll pull it back, pull it down. That looks good right there. We'll just drop it right there. And then what we could do is we can really easily Command D will create a duplicate, so it clones that, and what we want to do is have the right one. So we'll go under purple, choose the right bar just like that. We can bring it down and we can adjust the size just like that, and we could drag it on to the right side of the plugin just like that. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Bring it down just a little bit. Just like that. That's looking pretty good there. Okay, so next step, what we could do now that we have our sidebars in, just like that, we can add a label. And what we could do is we could drag this label out because we want to make it a little larger. Then you can adjust the font height, just like that. We can go to the font. Let's choose this Quirly Bold. That looks pretty good. We're just gonna name this plugin Space. That looks good. We could drag it up here to this right-hand corner. And then what we could do next is we can add another label right underneath it, and we'll name this Virtual Instrument. So Space Virtual Instrument, just like that. What we could do is we can adjust the size a little bit. Perfect. Space Virtual Instrument, that's looking pretty good there. Next, let's go ahead and we can add a spectrum analyzer. This is going to be a waveform that bounces. My kind of idea was that we can add this inside of the astronaut's helmet. We'll go down under alpha and we can make this alpha 0. This makes it completely transparent, gets rid of the background, and so all you'll see is this waveform that will move. We'll keep it white for now. Yeah, let's just keep that white for now, that waveform. What we also could do is we can next grab a knob just like that, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add another static image. This is gonna be a knob placeholder. So we go under our asset folder, static images, and we have our placeholders. We'll just grab this first one, just like that. So it's coming in way too large. So we're gonna go to the bottom right-hand corner, pull it back, and it shrinks that knob down. what we're gonna do is I kind of thought we'll add a giant knob right here in the middle. This is gonna be a reverb. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna place that knob right inside of there. But first, we're gonna make a couple duplicates of these knobs, and I'll show you why. So we're gonna have one in the middle, and then what we'll do is we'll add one right here around the female astronaut's shoulder. And then we'll add another one over here. Let's move this knob for now. So about here for now. Later on, we'll make it finalized and we'll make sure everything is lining properly. But for now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove that knob. Let's add another knob so that it gets placed on top of this placeholder. And then what you could do is you could resize and play with this knob until it's completely perfect in the way you want it to look inside of your placeholder. So I'm just pulling it back, just playing around with it until it's perfect. I think we're almost there. Just like that. That's looking good for now. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna clone that knob by using Command D. Just like that. Command D. Perfect. Now we have 3 knobs in there. This is going to be a really simple plugin for now. So what we're going to do is that knob is going to be our delay. So we'll name that delay. Just like that. And what we could even do is we can change we can use the impact text just like that. We can make it a little larger and adjust the font height just like that. There it is. That's looking pretty good. Delay, and then what we could do is we could just clone that. Here it is. We can name this one. If that's delay, we can add this one will be maybe chorus, just like that. Perfect. And then this one's going to be our reverb here. And what we're going to do is we could even we won't even add a label onto for the reverb. We'll just know that it's reverb. So we have our waveform here. That's looking great. If we want, we can add a VU meter up here if we wanted to. But I think what we're going to do is try to keep this one a little simple. Maybe that would be actually pretty cool, is we could add the keys up here if we wanted to as well. It's a pretty good idea, actually. Or, see, this is what I love about getting creative, is we could just play around with some different ideas. Might be kind of cool to make the keyboard here at the bottom, and then what we could use is the key size to make it stretched out, the keys a little bit. You can adjust the key range if you choose, just like I'm doing here. Adjust that key range a little bit more. There it is. Okay, so the key range is done, and then what we could do is under the white keys, you can adjust the alpha again. So I like it about there. That looks good. Now what we want is to change these color of the keys when they're pressed, so we can use the key down option down here, and let's use pink. We'll have those keys turning pink when they're pressed down, and then if you hover over it with your mouse, it could be maybe like a purple of some sort. That looks good. So voila, we have a reverb, we have our delay, we have our chorus, we got our keyboard down here, spectrum analyzer, we have some static image sidebars. We are looking pretty darn good, guys. That's looking good there. Next, what we could do is we could even come over here and let's start adding some sounds. And before we do that, let's go ahead and name our plugin. So for plugin name, we're going to name it Space VST. For the company name, we'll name it, you can name it whatever your production name is. For this video, ours is going to be Super Sounds. So Super Sounds made the space VST. For our first preset, let's go ahead and load in some pads that I have. So I got some pad instruments, and I can just literally drag and drop these one shots in here just like that. Voila. So we got our pad loaded in. We're going to stretch it out across the keyboard. Let's hear what it sounds like really fast. Now, as you could hear, it's kind of cutting off. So what we could do is to make it where it loops and crossfades properly, all we have to do is come down here under our samples settings. We're going to choose forward so that it's going to loop forward, and then we're going to adjust this loop fade right here. We'll make it 100%. Everything else looks pretty good. Now when we go ahead and play that pad again, you hear that it is looping properly. So that's sounding pretty darn good there. And then what we want to do is for this preset name, let's name it Pad Greatness. You can name it whatever you want. That's just the preset name that I made up for it. Let's go ahead and add a second preset. This next one, we're going to name it Pad Legend. So here's our second preset. We're going to grab another sample. Let's see. We'll just drag that one in there. And then what we're going to do is repeat that same process. We're going to pull the pad out to the right as far as we can. We're going to pull the sample as far left as we can. And then what we're going to do is properly loop it by under loop mode. We're going to select forward. And then for the loop fade, we'll make that 100. Let's go ahead and listen to it. That's looking pretty good. Sounds great. And then what we could do is we could also add in like ADSR knobs if you choose. Let's go ahead and I think it would be kind of cool to add some drum pads actually under here just for the look. Would be really awesome. We could add a drum pad there, and then what we could do is add a second drum pad here. We could pull these up actually, just like that. And then what we could do is Command D to clone them again, just like that. And then we can clone them again, just like that. Perfect. What we'll do is also we could grab in some more pads. And what you could do is you could look at these numbers up here. It'll tell you with the X and Y so that everything's aligned properly. For this video, I'm just trying to kind of fly through this. So I am not really making sure everything's lining up properly, but I will show you how to do that in a future video. But things are aligning pretty well as of right now. What you could also do is to make sure that these notes are properly labeled. So what we want to do is we'll have C3 for this pad. We'll have C. So if we had C3 for that one, what we're going to want to do is we'll use C#3, which is note 61. We'll go down here and we're going to do the same thing. For note 62 is D. So when D is played, it's going to light up there. This is going to be note 64, which is E. Note 65. So you guys are kind of seeing how I structure these. That's F. Note 66, which is F sharp. Note 67, which is G. Note 68, which is G sharp. So when those notes are being pressed, these pads will light up. Now, with the pads, this is a new feature. What we could do is come down here under where it says light color, and you can just choose a different color. What I'm going to do is I'll just have it under this pink for now. just so that we're pretty quick in doing this. I'm actually going to have different colors of pink for these. So I'm on purpose not going to have them exactly the same, just so it looks pretty cool when they're played. It's different kind of colors of pink that will show. Some of these will be darker, some of them will be lighter. I accidentally adjusted the color there, which might actually be pretty cool. So we'll go ahead. I'm just choosing some different pinks in here, guys. Any pink. Perfect. Just like that. Now, what's really cool about Romplur is you can click under Preview GUI and you could see what your plugin will look like. You could also adjust your knobs. See what those are going to look like. Those are looking great. So we're getting pretty close, guys, here. What I actually would love to do, this would be kind of cool. This is some last minute stuff that I'm thinking of, is what I can do is let's actually add a fader. But what I'm going to do, let's delete that fader because we can add a static image. Then what we could do is come down to our assets pack. Let's go to static images. We go to fader heads, fader background, and let's load in a fader background just like that, so that those faders are going to be playing. They're going to be moving up this background. So, and I'll show you what that actually looks like and what I mean by that. What we'll do is we'll have this one be the attack, and then this one's going to be the release, which could be kind of cool. And then to know exactly what these are, instead of adding a knob, let's remove that. What we'll do is we'll add a label under here, and for attack we'll label it just A, so we know that A is going to be the attack. And then what we'll do is we can clone that A, and we're going to label that as R, which is going to be our release. So we have our attack and we have our release. Now we need a fader head. And what we'll do, and all I did is right clicked under there, but we're going to want to have our fader head about right there. That's looking pretty good. And then we'll make a second one. So we just cloned it. We did our Command D like we have been doing. Perfect. And then now to give these knobs an action and the faders, what I'll do first is click on this asset, and then under Control Link, what we want to do is click on Attack for this fader. For this fader, what we're going to do is, since it's going to be our release, we'll select Release. For this knob over here, just clicking on them. For this knob over here, what we're going to do, that's our delay. So under Control Link, we'll go and select our delay. Where's delay mix? Perfect. For our chorus, we're going to go under Control Link and choose our chorus mix. And this one's going to be our reverb, so we'll choose our reverb mix. That looks pretty good. We have all of our pads labeled the way they're supposed to. That looks good. There, we have our spectrum analyzer in, our release, our attack. Everything is pretty much set up to go. So we have our reverb, delay, chorus, and our attack and release. So this is a really simple plugin. We have our presets loaded in, and then let's go ahead now, and I think we're ready to export. So we're going to go up to the top where it says File. We'll choose Export Plugin. We're going to create a Mac VST3. What we could do is click on under and script sample files. This is so that it will protect your audio files. We're going to send this to our desktop, and we're going to label it as space VST. Let's go back really quick and just confirm the spelling. It's really important. Okay, so we have capitals under here, so let's make sure that we put all caps when we export as well. So we have an on, we have our VST3, going to our desktop, space VST is ready. We're gonna go ahead and click save. It's gonna take a couple seconds, there it goes. And now our VST is done, it's on our desktop and it's ready to go. So what I like to do is let's go ahead and save our Romplur project as space VST, just so we can come back to it at a later time. We're all done with Romplur now, so we can close that out. And then what we're gonna wanna do is go under Go, and then we're gonna click on our Macintosh HD, Library, Audio, Plugins, VST3. Here is our VST3 folder. We're just gonna drag in our space VST into here. It's gonna ask me to put in my password. Now it is in the correct location. So we're ready to go ahead and load up our DAW. Our DAW of choice for this video is going to be Ableton Live. So we'll load up our Ableton Live, and it's scanning for plugins. We're gonna go ahead, we're just using the demo version of it right now. But just to confirm that it found it, what we're gonna do is go under Preferences. If you're under Audio, what you could do is go under Plugins, click Rescan, and just that simple, it found it. It should be showing up under our VST3 folder. Here is our category, Super Sounds, and here is our space VST. Let's give it some delay. And now some reverb.